It's down to Upton Park for the game on a rather grey Saturday afternoon between London's two highest placed clubs. West Ham, who've had a tremendous run into the end of the season and are at present lying fifth, against Arsenal, who are lying second. West Ham's crowds this season have been better than last, and their players had their own way of saying thank you for the support they've received over the past months. And having said thank you, their pride is now at stake against their near rivals Arsenal. And for this game, West Ham United are unchanged, with Bertie Lutton picked up for a song from Brighton and Hove Albion, keeping his place, and Johnny Ayres is named as the substitute. Now, West Ham lost on a penalty to Arsenal at Highbury away back in August, and Arsenal now come without Jeff Blockley in their defence, and that means something of a reshuffle.
Just as when they were coming forward, Arsenal had everybody forward. Now they've got so many men back. Robson, Lutton, Moore, Lutton again. It's going to be very hard to prize an opening, and McNabb stops it again, and it's with ball. First time to George, and what a good ball. Radford streaking through the middle. That's the ball played for John Radford. Beautiful play by Arsenal. Lovely move by Arsenal from one end of the field to the other. Radford's final shot was wide, but a superb piece of play by Alan Ball. Brooking having placed the ball not inside the corner quadrant. Curling inside there, and Robson just over. Bertie Mee in the front row of the director's box. Arsenal need to win their last two matches by an aggregate of 7 goals to 0 to catch Liverpool if Liverpool lose today. Ron Greenwood on the other side there, absolutely delighted with West Ham's form in the last couple of months. Now everybody watching intently as Trevor Brooking places the ball for another corner. Clyde Best right in there again for West Ham. And a little too high for Best. Story only half getting that one away, but now it's with Alan Ball. To Kennedy. Ball and George have made the running up front for him. Alan Ball again. Beautifully laid off first time for Radford. Lampard in the way. Now only as far as Rice. Radford. Kennedy on the far post, getting ahead to it, and it's there! Ray Kennedy. Well, out of the blue that one came, and in fact the crowd was stunned by it, but a lovely cross from the right, eluding those West Ham defenders, and Ray Kennedy gets there first, and that's goal number 11 for him. Rice again at that near post, Brooking again with a corner, again curling in there, but that time Story getting ahead to it. Lampard. Brooking in a lot of space there. Time to measure his cross, and Bonds is there! Oh, a superb save by Bob Wilson from Billy Bonds. Bonds put his head in his hands. He could hardly believe it himself that Bob Wilson, from that range, tremendous reflexes by the Arsenal goalkeeper. Ball being held off at the moment, and Lutton doing very well indeed, but Kelly there to cut it out. And Ball, of course, available to get it back again. Charlie George, nice ball by him into the path of Georgie Armstrong. Still with Armstrong, and this is number 2, and it's Radford. And it's very simple for Radford. They don't come easier. A beautiful ball by Charlie George sent Armstrong on his way. And Armstrong's low cross, not held by Bobby Ferguson, and Radford had time to consider where he was going to put it. Bonds to Kevin Locke. Lutton away on the left, and that was beautifully played by Locke and nicely killed by Lutton. And Brooking now for West Ham. Again, space enough for him to measure his cross. Measured there towards Ted McDougall. He got the head in, and Wilson diving well to his left to gather it. Arsenal's throw. Nab stretching for the header, a little more than he'd want to, and turned on nicely there by Robson to Aris. Shielding it well. Nice little touch there by Aris for Brooking. Oh, and he hit that well. Brooking again! Yes! Yes, it was there. Brooking, in fact. And it was Rice who turned it over the line. And I suppose it goes down as an own goal, but Brooking, having had one shot charged down, found that the ball was still in front of him, hammered it hard, and Rice, desperately getting across the goal, could do no more than just poke it over the line. And now Rice. Kennedy is all right, he's onside, and this is the chance now for Arsenal to make it 3-1. Two other players are up, and Ferguson stretches himself like elastic and grabs that ball and stops it going for Radford and Ball to nod into an empty net. Moore's throw, Lampard. Moore again, lofting it in once more. Robson is right in there, and again Arsenal get it away to Charlie George, and now it's for Alan Ball. Well, that was almost the perfect pass, but it was cut out by McDowell. Robson and McDougall didn't come back quickly enough. They were caught offside, but the final whistle had gone in any case. Trevor Brooking, with his goal in the second half, although it was finally put into the back of the Arsenal net by Pat Rice from about a yard range, giving the game a very interesting twist towards the end, after Radford and Kennedy had scored the goals to put Arsenal into that strong position in the first half. And so we're left with a final scoreline after a very entertaining last league match of the season here at Upton Park. A scoreline that reads, West Ham United 1, Arsenal 2.
Well, the right sort of spectacle to end the league season at West Ham, where their crowds have, as I said, been better this season than last. Sad in a way to see West Ham joining this so-called anti-TV brigade at a time when they've shown that by producing the right brand of football with the right outlook, you can still pull in the fans even without winning things. Maybe less griping about television and hooliganism and the rest of it all, and a stronger following of the Ron Greenwood approach to football is the strongest hope for football as a whole. And for once, I believe Jimmy Hill and I are in agreement.
Well, I do agree, because I thoroughly enjoyed that game of football yesterday. It's always a pleasure to see West Ham's style of football, because they do play the most entertaining part of football in the game. But more than that, I want to point out to Arsenal fans that their team too, although people say they're not an interesting team to watch, made their share of the game yesterday. They were as skillful as West Ham in conceiving passing movements, really entertaining stuff from players who haven't got the reputation of being very skillful. Look at that early ball there from Ball, giving George the chance that he needs to lay that one in Radford's path. Beautifully conceived, quick striking, and Radford, the ball bumped there at the end and he missed the goal by 2 yards finally. But this quick strike of Arsenal's was what won them the game yesterday. West Ham took too long to build up, and Arsenal were prepared to do it quickly. A little bit of luck maybe about this goal. That's the first goal coming up, across from Radford. Kennedy wins it. I think maybe he was trying to play it across the goal, and it went in. But there were 4 features in the game yesterday that I particularly want to draw attention to. First of all, about West Ham. I think they showed the whole of football a lesson with these first 2 incidents. So often we see players rolling over in supposing agony when they've been hurt. Look what way West Ham do it. Charlie George's foot came up there against Bobby Moore, hit him in the face. It really did. But what does Bobby Moore do? No complaining to the referee, no rolling about. He takes a free kick, getting on with the game, and nearly produces a goal in the process. We can see the same attitude now from Aris. As this ball comes across to the right, you see Bob McNabb go in very fiercely. I'm not complaining about that. He had to go for that ball. But Aris fell very firmly on the floor there, and he had maybe reason to stay down. But what did he do? Got up, had a smile with Bob McNabb, and kept the game going, which is the kind of thing that the crowds like, really, and keeps them interested for the whole of the 90 minutes. Another incident now, showing the better side of West Ham, and of Arsenal in the end. Alan Ball there's advising the referee what he should do. He's complaining about something. A little bit of humour creeps in. Bobby Moore puts his arm round his shoulder, pats him on the back, and once more we see the football and not the chatter. And Arsenal, they've got their humour too. What about that? For a Maxwell walk there from Eddie Kelly. I think these days that one of the things that's gone out of the game is the humour, and maybe it's one of the things that's keeping so many people away from the game. There he is again. What a lovely little shot of Eddie Kelly beforehand. A light-hearted approach to the game. Maybe that's one of the things that's needed. But my message to everyone for next season, to the players and managers particularly, is that if they play the quality of football that we saw yesterday, they show the sportsmanship and add a touch of humour, never mind television, never mind hooligans, you won't be able to keep people out of the ground.